I got it.
Caleb, that was the biggest laugh ever.
That was good. I get that one.
Look, we can argue about such things as that. All right, blank piece of paper. This will be simple, something you've known forever, but it's always a good review. We're talking about rounding. And if you look in your notes from previous years, I say the same thing. Basically, rounding is when close is good enough. For example, when somebody asks you how much you paid for your sneakers, you're probably going to say, well, first of all, I didn't buy them. My parents did, and they buy me everything I want. Secondly, you would say, well, they were about $75. Now, when you say $75, I'm almost pretty sure when you went up to the register, or your parents went up to the register and paid for them, they probably weren't. They probably were maybe, I don't know, $73.80. I don't know what they were. Maybe they were $80. Well, no, because you would say 80. Maybe they were $76. I don't know, whatever. But they don't need to know exactly. So we round simply because there's times we don't need to know the exact numbers. Now, with that being said, a couple things that throw people for loops on rounding are especially rounding decimals. Okay, let's say you've got this very exciting number, 17.92874. By the way, I just made that up in case you're wondering where that came from. It doesn't have anything to do with anything whatsoever. Did you ever wonder how many people in the world, do you think anybody's ever said that number before? Just randomly picked that number?
Probably.
What would be the odds of somebody else in the world just saying, okay, write down 7.92874?
Probably one other person.
What would be the odds? You should be able to tell me the odds. The odds would be 1 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. It would be about 1 in 2 million that somebody else would have said that. 2 million other people. Somebody's probably said that before. Here's the deal with decimals. When you round decimals, well, first of all, let's look at it. If somebody asks you to round to the whole number, what would that mean? What would that mean? Rounding to the nearest whole number. Not what the answer is, what does that mean? Olivia?
It means you're going to round the number before the actual whole number into it, so...
Chase, interpret.
You round the number before the decimal.
Yeah, you're rounding a whole number. A whole number cannot be fractions or decimals. So I need to change this so that there's no decimal to it. So in order to tell you what you would round it to, what would you look at? Well, you'd have to look at this. You always look at the digit that's after what you're rounding. 17 is the whole number here. The decimal goes after that. Since that's a 9, if you're thinking about a number line, here's your 17, here's your 18, and if this decimal is 9/10 of the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that decimal is going to fall right there. So this number, obviously, if you're rounding to the nearest whole number, is going to be 18. Okay, no decimal at all if you're rounding to the whole number. Okay. Now, if we're rounding to the decimals, there's 2 different ways that people ask you to round. Okay, here is one. If I said to round to the nearest 10th, okay, if you are rounding, Zachary, to the nearest 10th, the first thing you have to know is which digit's in the 10th place, Zachary, which is the 9. Here's your 10th digit. Then what tells you what happens to that 9 is the digit that's to the right of that, which is in the hundredths place, which is the 2. So what happens to my 9? Because of this 2, is it going to go up, or is it going to stay the same? Chase?
Stay the same.
It will stay the same. So my answer in here, I need you to focus right now, because you will get this wrong, and you'll be very sad about it, but I will say I distinctly told you this. When you round decimals, repeat after me, when I round decimals,
When I round decimals,
I will never,
I will never,
no, not ever,
no, not ever,
change the digits
Change the digits
to the right
to the right
of said rounded decimal
of said rounded decimal
to 0.
to 0.
Now one more time, all together.
I don't know.
And what that means, boys and girls, is this. Usually when you round numbers, like if you're rounding 7,502 to the thousands place or whatever, you would change it to 8,000 and these all become zeros. That doesn't happen with decimals. If I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, I don't change these to zeros and put 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, there are no digits after the number you round. Why? For the simple reason, if you say this number right like this, it's 17 and 9/10. If you stick all those unneeded zeros in there, now it becomes 17 and 9, what? 10,000ths. 9, remember tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, you have to say that place after they. You put all those zeros in there, it becomes a whole different crazy number that you don't want. If you're rounding to the nearest tenth, it stays in the tens. Alright, nobody had anything to say to that? Now, otherwise, okay, they will either tell you to round to the tenths place, or they will also, another way to say that same exact thing is round to the first decimal place. This is the first decimal place. This is the second decimal place, or they could say round to 2 decimal places, or they could say round to the 100th. That means all the same thing. So let's see if you picked up on that. If I said to round this number, let me make sure I got this, to 3 decimal places. Round to 3 decimal places. People get confused with that. That would be the same thing as saying round to what? 1, 2, 3 decimal places is rounding to what place there? Later?
8 or thousands place?
Yes, the thousands place, tens, hundreds, thousands. And which would be what? If I round this to the 3rd decimal place or to the thousands place, it is, Leighton is going to go on the limb and say?
17.929.
Correct. And that's what this would be, 17.929. Please don't, I don't know what the lollipop is. Please don't put zeros at the end of that. Put zeros after the decimal. 17 and 929 thousandths is what that is in the 3rd decimal place. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
What would this number be rounded to 2 decimal places? Rounded to 2 decimal places, it is, Emma?
17.93.
Correct. No zeros, no nothing after that, 17.93. What would this be rounded to the nearest tens? The nearest 10. Lauren?
17.
No, 10.
Oh.
20. Yeah, no decimal places, no nothing. I don't give you that. What is this rounded to the nearest? Oh, to the 4th decimal place. What is that rounded to the 4th decimal place? It is. Great. 8. What number comes after that 4th? 4. If it's below 5, it stays the same. 29,287. Yay? Got it. Perfect. Now, with that being said, another blank piece of paper. Oh yes, time is definitely not on our side. It's a song, by the way. You guys know other songs, I'm sure. Estimating. If I ask you to define why or what is estimating, you might tell me it is. Olivia?
I guess.
An
educated.
Okay, I would go more with an educated guess. A although I don't like the word guess. Is there a better word we can use instead of guess? I don't like guess so much.
Theory.
No, I don't like theory either.
Thoughts.
Value?
What?
Value.
What? Value. An educated value.
Maybe you could say it like this: getting close by making the proper. Getting close. Easily. Now let me give you a for example, just here. Bob is paid $11.85 per hour. Bob makes $11.85 an hour. How much does he make a year? Oh boy, what? Oh yeah. How much a year? Assuming the average work week is how many hours, ladies and gentlemen? What is considered the average American work week? 5 days, 8 hours a day. How many hours a week?
40.
Alright, that would be 40 hours a week. And it is for how many weeks in a year? You have to know some of this stuff. 52 weeks in a year. Now, let me tell you where I see some people go wrong on this whole estimating thing. Okay, I see them do this. Okay, first of all, this should, when you estimate, life should be easy. But I have seen people do this. Oh, well, it's $11.85 an hour. So to figure out how much they make in a week, I would multiply that by 40. I get my answer, what? 22, 32, 34, 37. You make what? $474 a week, and then I take that times 52, and then they go 0, 0, 8, 4. I'm not even sure if I'm in the ballpark here. 9, 0, 0, 0, 22, 37, 3. What number even is that? 4, 20, 23, and I get 0, 0, 8, 4. What was that, 7?
Yeah.
6, 4, 2, and there's 2 decimal places there. And then they go like this. Oh, well, that's close to $25,000 a year. That is not what you're doing. What you have done is taken your answer, doing a ton of work, and then just rounded your answer. That's not what you're doing. You are making all of these numbers easy so you can get to this super fast. So $11.85, you're probably going to say is $12. 52 is probably going to be 50. 40 can stay because it's pretty easy. You know, you can take 50 times 40 and get what, 2,000. And you take 2,000 times 12 and that's 24,000. That's what estimating is. This is not estimating. This is going through a whole lot of work to get to somewhere you could have been much, much easier and quicker over here. Which, by the way, 24,000 is awful close to 25,000. That's pretty close for doing all that goofy math. So estimating is not doing all the work and then rounding your answer. Estimating is rounding all of your numbers and then getting an answer that's relatively close to what you started with. Has anybody ever done this? Because I know I've seen people do that. Yeah. Wait, you've done this where you've done all the work and then rounded your answer? Oh, yeah. No, I'm hoping we've all done that, but I can tell you I've seen it. So let's try one more. Notice the awkward silence there in anticipation for something. Estimate the sum. Estimate the sum of 3,896 and 5,242. And blam, you should be done. On paper, what would I like to see for that problem, Zach? If this was actually a problem from the book, what? So you don't have to stand up and do the up, downs, whatever. What should I see on your paper? This is all I would need to see is what?
4,000.
I would love to see 4,000 plus.
5, 7, 6.
That's 5,000.
That 6.
I don't criticize my handwriting.
Okay. Alright.
And bam, 9,000 would be your answer. But I'd at least like to see what you estimated. You don't have to write those other numbers down, but you could jot down your estimates sort of thing. Some of you, most of you don't struggle with 4,000 plus 5,000, do you? For the most part.
Good.
Now 4,000. How about this? Estimate the product of 12 3/8 and 9.75. What did I say? 12 3/8 times 9.75. What would you round those numbers to? 12 3/8 is probably 9.75 is probably, and multiplying them together, you get 120.
Ooh.
Shake it up, baby, now.
Shake it up, baby.
How about
That
that?
was the
We
did
did it by ourselves.
You are running out of time to do that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I had two.